All right, Math 1, this is the homework help video. Rate of change is the slope, that's your M. This is a linear equation that's written in y equals mx plus b. The number that's attached to the M is this number right here. This is minus a negative, which is actually plus a positive. So your slope is actually 3 over 2, okay? Your y-intercept here would be 6, but they asked for slope. The smallest value, what is the smallest value for x? So we're solving x here. So when you're solving for x here, let's distribute. So this is going to give me 7x. This right here, when you multiply, you have 7 times a negative 5 over 7. So this cancels out and you're left with just the negative 5 over 1, which is just negative 5. So this is minus 5 here, minus 1. Bring down the greater than equal to x. Okay? So now you're going to move the x's to the same side. So you're going to subtract x on both sides. Okay? So actually, let me move the one. Uh, yeah, let's do it. Let's subtract x. X is already over there by itself, so let's subtract it. This is gone and we're left here. This is minus a negative. So that's, I'm sorry, minus. So that's plus a negative there. So that's going to be negative 6 on this side. Bring this down. This is going to give us negative 6x. We're going to divide both sides by negative 6 to get rid of this negative 6 that's attached to x. This is going to flip the inequality and I get a positive 1 is less, x is going to be greater than, the mouth is open to the x, is going to be greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so here, the smallest, let's turn this around. So x has to be greater than 1. So the smallest value has to be 1. 1 has to be the smallest value, okay? All right, so what equation is represented in the graph? So we know that the slope is negative, so let's cancel out the ones that have positive slope. This has a positive slope. This has a positive slope, okay? So it's between these two, okay? So let's figure out what the slope is because they both cross at -2. The b for both of these is at -2. So let's find the slope. So we're going to count rise over run. So let me find another good point. This is another good point. So we're going down. So we go down. That's an M is rise over run. So we're going down 1 and 2 because this is at 2, right? And we're going over. I'm going to count how far we go over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's down 2 and over 5. Okay, so we got 2, and it's, remember, it's negative. Sorry. So this is going to be -2 divided by 5. So that gives me this one right here. The slope is going to be -0.40. So that's B. Okay. The parking garage charges $1 for the first hour. Okay. So for first hour, it's $1. Um, and 60 cents for each additional hour. Okay. So 60 cents is the M. Okay. Your M is 60 cents because it's 60 cents for every hour. And your starting amount is going to be the dollar. So these are all right here. So now we got to figure out what the inequality is. It says write an inequality to solve to find how many hours apart if you only had if you have only $6. So the equation has to be, it's going to be the $1 plus the 60 cent x, and this amount can't go over $6. So it has to be less than or equal to $6. This is what it has to be. Less than or equal to six dollars. So let's pick the one that it let's mark out the ones. This can't be because it's saying it's greater than $6. This is a no. This is saying that it's less than, it's greater than $6, but you have $6, so it can be equal to $6. Um, this is the right. This is good here. So this is the correct one because it is equal to, you can have $6. If you only have $6, you have $6. So that's going to be your answer there. Okay, and if you want to check it, you subtract 1. This gives you 60 cent x. This gives you 5. And you're going to divide both sides by 60 cents. So we got 5 divided by 60 cents. And that gives us about 8 hours, okay? 8 hours and some change. So X has to be less than or equal to 8 hours. All right, so that's about right. So it's C. All right, Eric takes a cab to meet her grandmother at the museum. Her grandmother will give her a ride home. She only has $25.05 to spend on a cab. That's how much she has. That's all she has. Okay. The cab costs $3. You automatically pay the $3 plus 35 cents for every mile. What is the maximum number of miles that Erica can travel before she has to walk the rest of the way? Good Lord. All right. So let's figure out let's write the equation and then solve the inequality. So you have automatically paid the $3 plus the 35 cent for every mile. Okay. And you only have this. So this amount has to be less than or equal to $25.05. Okay. It has to be less than because that's all you got. And it can be equal to as well. Okay. So let's mark out the ones that's not equal. So this is these two. So it's between these two answers right here. Okay. So let's solve the inequality. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So you subtract 3 here. This gives us 35x. Bring down the less than or equal to. And here, this is going to be, make sure. This is 5 cents here. This is 22. $22.05. So now we're going to divide both sides by 35 cents. So you have $22.05 divided by 35 cents. Okay? So that gives us 63. So this is going to be, X is on this side. This is less than or equal to 63. So the answer here is D. Okay. All right. So after the 63 miles, then you're going to have to start walking. All right. So the solution here. Okay. So we solved this. Distributive property. This is 6x. This is 12. This is 6x plus 14. Notice. Okay, let's go ahead and solve it. So move the variables to the same side. Let's subtract the 6x from both sides. The x's cancel out and you're left with 12 is equal to 14. This is a false statement. So if the variables cancel out and this is not true, there's a no solution. If the variables cancel out and it is true, it's all real numbers, okay? So that's what that is. Number 14, which of the following relation is a function? So this right here, you see, it makes a circle. This right here is not a function. Anytime you see x squared, y squared, this is not a function. The x's do repeat. Look, x is going to repeat. It's squared. So not a function, okay? Remember, the x's cannot repeat. So let's look at this. This is different. These two are the same. Sorry. These two x values are the same, so this one is not a function. Okay? The x values are the same. All right, so let's look and see. All these x values are different. So this is a function. It passes the vertical line test too. I don't know if you remember the vertical line test, but you take your pencil, you take and look to see if any of these x values repeat, move your pencil across. If it loops back around and touch this vertical line, then it's not a function. But this does not. All these x values that are on the line are going to be different. All right, so this last one, let's do the ordered pairs. So this is from 0 to 2. So the ordered pair, right, my x and my y. My ordered pair is 0 and 2. Then this goes from 5 to 0, 5 to 0. Then this goes from 7 to negative 2, 7 to negative 2. And the last one also goes from 7 to positive 2. Do you see how these x values repeat? This is not a function. So the answer here, the one that is a function, is this one right here, C. This is the one that is a function. Please make sure that you have shown your work. If you have questions, just let me know. All right? Have a good one.